Hello, hello, hello. Hey y'all. So it's been a minute. I'm recording this on a phone that I can't even hear from, and once I transfer it, I don't know how it's gonna sound. So we're just gonna go with it. So for the pick a card reading, it's been so long. I feel like super out of practice. And the energy has been kind of weird lately, but I was like forced to kind of get on here and do something because it's been a minute. So here we are. Pick a card reading from, or pick a power reading from Papa Legba. So here we go. For everyone who picked Power 1 or the Snow White figurine, these are the cards for you. We have the Lady. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. Alright, you see how she's holding that apple in her hand. Apples maybe a significant thing for you right now. Let's see, what do we have next? We have the adventure card. Okay, so I can't really see my face and the card at the same time, so I hope it's showing up well. Then we have the Ten of Cups. Alright, and to clarify the Ten of Cups, we have the Ace of Swords and we have the Knight of Wands, or the Daughter of Wands within this deck. So with the Lady card and the Adventure card coming out, enjoy growth and reap rewards. With the Adventure card, I feel like you've put in a good deal of work. You've tilled your soil, you've planted your seeds, you've pruned your garden, you've put in an immense amount of work, and now it's finally time to reap the harvest. And this is, very significant, especially with the spring equinox coming around the corner in like the next month and a half, maybe. Almost 2 months, month and a half, something like that. Especially with in the spiritual community, a lot of us understand that the spring equinox is actually the new year, the start of the new year for us. So it's very keen here that the Lady came out. So with this start, this fresh start, this harvest energy, this new year coming in, there's going to be a lot of adventures coming your way, things that you didn't necessarily expect, but basically you're just experiencing the growth and the rewards of those things that you have put out, that you've worked for so hard over the past year. And it's going to be a lot of surprises. Even though this harvest is like apples in this deck, I feel like you may get a few different types of fruit, things that you didn't necessarily plant. There may have been some cross-pollination and you didn't even know about it. So you may end up with a mango, you may end up with a harvest of eggplants, you may end up with a few different harvests besides the apples that you thought that was the only thing that you were necessarily growing within this time. So that's part of the adventure, finding new things, new crops, new harvests, new venues that you didn't, or ventures that you didn't even know were available to you. You didn't know that those things were growing in your garden. You didn't know a lot of these things are going to be gifts to you. That is a part of the adventure. And even with the cross-pollination, I did say cross-pollination, that could also be some people experiencing some form of birth as well. The spring equinox also is a time of birth, or because you're birthing in the new, you're changing season. So you've at the end of the winter, that is the death process. So a lot of us have also been going through a dark night of the soul. We've been in the dark a little bit, not really necessarily knowing how things are going to look going forward, if our crops were going to sprout forth in the springtime when it was time to harvest. But this is showing me that your seeds fell on good ground and everything is going according to plan. And like I said, there may even be some surprises. So there may even be some very fertile birthing energy coming about. So there could possibly be a number of pregnancies coming up within the next few months. So just be prepared for that. We got the Ten of Cups here. And the Ten of Cups can represent beginnings and it can also represent endings, because the number 10 is always, it's at the end. 9 is the only vibrational number. Well, it's the last vibrational number that you go through. You go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you go to 10. So 10 is technically like a culmination of 0 and 1. So it's the rebirth, it's the starting over. So we have the 10. So you just recently ended a death period, or a period of, tribe members, family. You could have possibly recently had to release, let go, even if it's for only a certain amount of time. But in this new time frame, in this new year that is coming forward, the Ten of Cups represents that all of those cups will be refilled. All of those cups will be revealed, and that's refilled, not revealed, but they may be revealed as well. That's a part of this adventure, because oftentimes we go on this journey and we're thinking things are one way, and then in the blink of an eye things can change, the energy can change, and then all of a sudden it's like you feel like you're all alone again. And that's another part of the death cycle, the death and rebirth cycle. However, with this Ten of Cups and the adventure card, especially with the lady, all of your efforts, all of your hard work, all of those hurt, sorrows, all of the times that you've had to release people, things, places, situations, those things are being regifted to you. If not in the same form, they're coming back in a different form, a different era, another. They're coming back bigger, better, bolder. I'll say that. And it could be some remixes coming about, as far as people from your old or older or your past situations returning. But it's kind of like they've been remixed in a sense. They've grown, they've experienced their own growth cycles, and you're coming back in together to do some new things. Clarifying the Ten of Cups, we had the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So with the Ace of Swords, this is all things new. It's a gift from Spirit, new energy, new ideas, new communications that are coming through, new downloads coming through, about the passionate adventures that you're going to be going on with the Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands energy is very passionate. They oftentimes kind of just go for the gusto. They go without thinking sometimes, but this doesn't even feel like they're going without thinking. It's just things are coming at the drop of a dime, at the snap of a finger. It's like things are coming forth, things are birthing through, and it's not necessarily going to be always something that you planted. It's going to be a brand new surprise, a gift that is being gifted to you from divine, from Spirit. So this is pretty much everything that I have for pile 1. But I will say, kind of look into the storyline of Snow White. Like, there's a reason. I don't know, something was like, just grab the little figurines. I keep these on my altar. But for pile 1s, definitely kind of look into the storyline of Snow White. You may find some additional messages there. But definitely look into the energy of Snow White. And that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's been a while. I'm sure I'll be making more of these a lot closer together in the future. Yeah, I had to go through some things just like y'all had to go through some things. So I thank y'all so much. y'all enjoy your day. Namaste. All right. Hello. This is for everybody who picked pile 2. Just like I told pile 1, just look, it has been a while. I'm glad to be back with y'all. This feels kind of foreign to me because it's been so long since I've done these. Probably since like late November, early December. It feels very foreign. So, y'all bear with me. But anywho, I'm going to get into these cards. And if you picked pile 2, these are what I have for you. We have Autumn, Release the Old and Rest. This looks like this is either a raven or a crow. I can't really tell. I know ravens are usually larger than crows and their coats are a bit shinier, but I can't really tell in this picture what's what. So you could be seeing a lot of ravens, crows, just birds in general, but especially like dark black birds. You could be seeing those as a synchronicity around you. But with the Release the Old and Rest, it's definitely time for you to catch up on some things that may have slipped through the cracks as far as releasing, especially since this is the autumn card. So we've already passed autumn. So this may be even pertaining to something that happened within the autumn season between September and December. So this could be prevalent to something that happened between then. So definitely kind of take a look back and reflect on what you may need to, because there's something that happened during that period that needs to be released. There's something that needs to be healed in a sense. I don't even like using that word anymore for real, but it's definitely something that needs to be transmuted. I will say that. Something that needs to be transmuted and something that needs to be released and let go. And right now is a time of rest for you, especially while we're in the winter months. We're in like the last leg of the winter months with the spring equinox being right around the corner. So there's something definitely that you need to look back and reflect on that needs to be released. It may have been something that was kind of painful, hurtful for you to experience, something that you necessarily didn't understand. You weren't quite sure about it, but it's definitely something that you're working on releasing now, or if you are not, it's something that needs to be released. The Sorrow card here was the next card that came out for you. And the Sorrow card is similar to the Nine of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. And the Nine of Swords can represent bad dreams, nightmares, anxiety. This is also giving me heavy dark night of the soul energy. So that may be some depression may have been at your doorstep within your mental space for the past few months, possibly even since September. And there's some things that, you may need to rethink, reflect on, and get to the root of so you can truly release them. Let's see. What else do we have here? We have the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups is, it's a card. It can mean a few different things, but ultimately it's a card of illusion. It's a card of fantasy. It's a card of things not necessarily being as they're taken or as they seem. I'll say that things are not necessarily as they seem with the Seven of Cups. So this may have been an emotional matter that happened to you within the autumn months between September and November. I don't know, I probably should have picked this up because I can't see my whole face, but whatever. We're here now. But it could have been something of a emotional nature that happened to you between September and December. And it's something that you didn't necessarily see clearly for what it was. It could have been an emotional matter. It could have been a connection. It could have been something that touched your heart. And you didn't necessarily understand what exactly it was that you were looking at. But oftentimes we tend to fantasize about things that we would like to see instead of looking at things as the way they are. Especially if we've been hurt in the past, especially if we hold on to a lot of trauma and things of that nature that we haven't released and let go of. So it's easier a lot of times to live in an illusion of fantasy that is not necessarily a projection of what is really going on in our faces in front of us. So with the Seven of Cups here, this may be part of what is being released, whatever fantasy or whatever illusion that we may have been feeding ourselves or someone else may have been feeding us within those autumn months between September and December. It's time to release those. It's time to truly get to the root of those things, get to the face of those, unmask those things so you can truly see what is for what it is. Clarifying the Seven of Cups, we have the Knight of Coins and we have the Chariot. And if you can see with this Knight of Coins, and you see there's two women right here who are serving like this one man. He's sitting down at the table. Now, normally within the traditional Knight of Coins, which this is the Daughter of Coins in the Hoodoo Tarot, but with the traditional Knight of Coins, it's considered the slowest moving knight of the deck, but it's slow moving because it's stable, it's sturdy, it's reliable, dependable, it's building something on a firm foundation. And with this card being underneath the Seven of Cups, there may have been the illusion of something being built upon a solid foundation, something being built on stable ground, but it wasn't necessarily so. This could also have something to do, like I said, with an emotional matter. It could have been multiple people in a connection, multiple people in a situation that may have caused one or more parties to feel disillusioned in the connection. But whatever it was not sturdy, it was not stable. Even though this is in the upright, with the Chariot next to it, this is you moving away from something that wasn't necessarily stable, or it gave the illusion of being stable. Whatever the situation is, it seemed to have create great sorrow, great heartbreak, great some form of pain within whomever is, resonating with this pile. I definitely feel like some heart and throat energies that, like whatever is coming up, it may be something that you may need to address. It may be something that you need to cry about so you can release. But whatever it is, it's like it's bubbling up from your heart space and like entering into your throat because it needs to be released, whether in a cry, whether in you actually addressing this by verbalizing whatever these words are, whatever this hurt was. But whatever it is, it needs to be released. It needs to be released so you can truly rest. So you can truly rest and so you can truly find stability in what it is that you are seeking. With the Chariot card, which is Railroad Bill in this deck, the Chariot card represents Cancer energy. And Cancer represents the home life. It represents family. It represents family structures and things of that nature. So what may have been an illusion of something that was firm, sturdy, within this relationship or within this situation, that causes sorrow, that causes hurt within your life. It may be something that needs to be addressed and moved forward so you can build a firm foundation within your home life, within even your ideas of what a true home life connection is, what a true family or familial connection is, what a true relationship is, that isn't based on illusions and things that are not stable, things that are only projections, things that are causing sorrow within your heart space. That's what's going on in this situation, because it's ultimately time to release those things and rest, especially before March 21st, which will be the spring equinox. We're in the last few weeks of winter, and now is the time, if any, to truly go within and release those things that don't serve us. Do the pruning to your do the pruning to yourself, to your energy, so that once spring gets here, you can be refreshed in the newness and reap the harvest of that thing that you've been yearning for. And also look into Tinkerbelle, the storyline of Tinkerbelle. Her storyline may give you a little more insight into this situation, into your situation. You may even see some synchronicities. I can't talk, and correlations. So definitely look into this storyline of Tinkerbelle, and I believe that is all I have for you today. I do thank you so much for joining me, and namaste. All right, hello. So for those who picked pile 3, here we go, right here. This is your pile. I'm gonna pull your cards just like I did everyone else. I just want to say, I haven't done this in a while. It's been a minute, so I don't know whether you go through and listen to the whole thing or whether you go straight to your pile. Everyone gets their own little greeting, but I'm just letting y'all know I'm a little out of practice with these. It's been a while. It's probably been since late November, early December since I even did one of these. So I won't say I'm nervous. It just feels a bit weird. So y'all bear with me. Let's see. The first card that came out for pile 3 is the Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. And so you see how she's kind of bringing or calling love into herself, even though she's kind of holding on to herself. You can take this a number of ways. You can take this as she is first loving on herself, as she, holds that heart that's on her chest close to herself. Or you could even see this as her touching and appreciating and reveling in the sensuality of herself. So she's loving herself and allowing other people to love her as she begins to love herself truly. You could represent with the deity Brigitte, either the Irish or Celtic deity Brigitte, or Bridget if you want. Or you could resonate with the Voodoo Loa, Maman Brigitte as well. They're both synchronized with each other. So that energy could definitely be important or prevalent to you. But with this message, love and let yourself be loved, this is definitely like learning to appreciate love and be sensual with yourself, and then magnetizing or attracting that same energy that we have for ourselves and that we've learned to appreciate within ourselves, attracting that energy in afterwards. A lot of us kind of jump the gun sometimes, or we have gotten too busy on loving ourselves. It can go either way. Some of us jump the gun and try to love someone else before we, love on ourselves. And then on the other side of the spectrum, sometimes we love ourselves so much, and we've done so much by ourselves, and we've loved ourselves for so long. It's like we mastered that aloneness and being in that alone space that we feel like we don't need anybody else. So with this love and let yourself be loved, it's time to let other people in, and not be so cold to accepting love from the outside, because it's definitely time for that energy to be brought together, that energy to be brought to you. And this isn't always necessarily meaning in a romantic connection, a romantic situation or partnership. This could be just in a familial situation or a friendship situation. Oftentimes we have difficulties allowing people to truly love on us, to truly be in our corner, due to trust, because we know we can ultimately always trust ourselves. So with this card, I see that there's definitely some energy of true, stable love coming towards you. Like I said, it could be a romantic energy, it could be familial, it could be friendship, but or even partnership. But there's truly some energies that are coming towards you that are going to love and respect you and care for you just in the same manner that you care for yourself. So if you're in the energy and you pick this pile that you're not really loving on yourself right now, this may be letting you know that it's time to love on yourself more, so more of that energy can come in for you. What do we have here? Okay, the next card is the Harmony card, yet it is in reverse. And I don't get it as in like a negative thing, so to speak, because let me show you the Harmony card when it's upright. This is the Harmony card upright, and as you can see, there's two dolphins, and they're connecting both the head and the heart. So that's the harmony. And oftentimes in in love situations or in just partnerships and connections, period, oftentimes we have a war or a struggle between our head and our heart space, because our heart may be feeling one thing and our head is telling us another thing. So, we kind of have like a tug of war session. And with this being in reverse, this is like what's on the top here. It's time for us to actually allow our heart spaces to feel and to be open and to be in control. I don't like to say control, but I'll say take the lead. It's time for us to allow our heart to take the lead, instead of focusing solely on the head and what we should do, what we need to do in this manner. Those are always going to be factors. But when it comes to this pile is about how to truly operate and guard your heart. So love and let yourself be loved. And you can't love and let yourself be loved if you're constantly in your head space and never going to your heart space and allowing your heart to lead. It has to be balanced. You have to find the perfect harmony between the heart and the head and the heart. So that's what that's about right there. Let's see. What do we have? The next card we have is the Knight of Wands. Again, so if you chose pile 3, you may want to look back at pile 1 as well, because the Knight of Wands was shown there as well. So with the Knight of Wands is about moving very passionately into something new, some new era of something, some new experience, some new venture. This could also be about taking a leap into an actual physical move. You could be moving houses, moving states, moving to a new residence, something of that nature. You could be moving to a new love. But I feel like in this situation, it's like once you balance out your head and your heart energies and begin to truly love from the inside out. So once you begin to truly love yourself and allow that energy to come to you from the outside, this is going to bring in new opportunities for you to move to something that is a lot more free flowing, a lot more easily flowing for you in the love department, whether that's, like I said, familial, whether it's romantic, whether it's friendship, partnership. It's going to allow you to be able to move a lot freer. The Knight of Wands is also clarified by the Justice card, and we have the Nine of Pentacles. With the Justice card it can be a number of things, but in this situation, it's about balance. You see how they have that scale right there in the background. There's a scale right here in the corner. I don't know if you can see it. And it's also at the courthouse. But anywho, this is about balance. This is about harmony. This is about making sure that everything is, there's no one side outweighing the other. And this is what this justice card is bringing in. It's bringing in that balance. Because if you've always been the one that's been logical, always been the one that's been doing, always been the one that is operating in, I hate to say it in this manner, but this could be especially for some of those of us who operate more so in a masculine energy than our feminine energy. And not saying acting like a man. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about operating more so in your natural masculine energy than your feminine. This could be letting you know that it's time to balance those energies, because feminine energy is receptive. Masculine energy is like an output. It's like an output. You're constantly doing, you're constantly moving around, you're constantly giving out, but you have to remember to look within. You have to remember to be receptive to the same energy that you're putting out. So with this justice card, that's also bringing in the balance for you to sit like this Nine of Pentacles and truly, I hate to say be pretty because that seems very like stereotypical. Like you got to be like super girly and all that. No, that's not what I mean. But your natural feminine energy is receptive. Now, granted, it's chaotic, so, but it's still receptive at the end of the day. There's, when you think of a plug and a socket, which one is the socket? The socket is the hole. The plug is, there you go. That's the masculine. The socket is the feminine. So it's time for us to be more so in that. All right, this power must resonate with me too because I keep saying us and I keep throwing me in there. So it's time to resonate more so in your feminine energy and not necessarily relying solely on your right brain, your logical brain. It's time to operate in your heart space as well. I don't think there's much more I can get from that. I really don't. Excuse me, y'all. I really don't think there's much more I can get from that. But definitely just like with this Nine of Pentacles, though, you see she's sitting down. She's reading a book. She's chilling. She's got a cat in her lap. With the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles is one pentacle away from the Ten of Pentacles, which is like the ultimate, it's like the ultimate goal. So, operating in that feminine energy is going to allow you to truly love on yourself and allow that love to pour back into you effortlessly, where things flow and there's harmony and you're not operating more so in your head than in your heart space. Also check into Wonder Woman, the storyline of Wonder Woman. Check into Diana. Check into her and see like what her storyline is like. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of synchronicities there that will, kind of connect you to her story and kind of see where I'm coming from when I'm speaking of the masculine and feminine energies. So, yep, Wonder Woman. But that is all I have for y'all. I'm going out of focus. That is all I have for y'all. If y'all, anybody from 1, 2, and 3 has any questions, comments, or concerns, I would love to hear from y'all. Leave them down in the comments. Thank y'all so much for taking the time out to even listen. I appreciate y'all. Namaste.